All right. Is that working? It's working. Hey. Just permit me to show my mom all these awesome people. Hi, Mom. Cool. Okay. Hi, my name is Rob, and I'm here to talk to you about something I'm calling the AT Outer Web, which is a goal for cross-protocol community pollination. I'm a big fan of the web. I grew up with it, and I think it's still pretty magical. The idea that I can just freely put stuff out into the world and anyone on the planet can read it. So today I want to talk about the discoverability crisis, which is a term from, I don't know if people know Marginalia, a rad, small search indie web search engine. I want to talk about the discoverability crisis, what a friend and I are building to deal with this that we're calling the outer web. My friend Chris and I have been working on this for a couple of years. And then I want to talk about the future state. I got very excited by Jared's blog post on Page Parts, and it was very inspiring. Very exciting. Okay, so the discoverability crisis. Here's a little sort of timeline of just kind of what I could remember of my interaction with the web. I got my own website back in the 90s. I used GeoCities. I used Blogger on my website. And above the line, I sort of felt like I had ownership and control over my presence on the web. And then I started using other people's stuff. I started existing in their playgrounds. And, you can see a long period there where I didn't find myself really using anything because I lost touch. I lost the excitement. And then I was kind of late to the game with Blue Sky and with atproto. I was kind of dabbling with the Fediverse more. And just, watching people have fun and what's the phrase? We can just build shit. Like, it just drew me in. It's very exciting. It's a very fun time, very fun place. The water's warm. So discoverability crisis. I think that, everyone here, I don't really have to explain these things to you. Like, you're here because you're seeking out sort of like, you woke up in the Matrix and you're like, I don't want to be here anymore. What's going on? I'd rather eat slop in a dungeon or in a sewer than exist in the fake. I don't know. I call it like eating plastic, right? Like when you exist on like these modern normie corpo websites. So there are existing approaches out there now. People are fighting back against this. Marginalia, like I said, Kagi. These are capital S search, right? So like you have to know what you're looking for. You have to be intentional and say, okay, this is something that I'm going to go out and look for today. I'm going to search for this thing. There are feeds. I want to shout out scour.ing. If you like RSS, I highly recommend it. It's a local project, Evan Schwartz, and it's great. I struggle with feeds in general because I end up just finding cool stuff and adding more and more sources to my feeds. And the next thing I know, I'm following a couple thousand people, and I find that I dip in. And one of the great things about atproto is this concept of feeds, the primitive, where like, I find I'm overwhelmed by a whole feed, but mutuals for you, great subsets of a feed. And then, what I'm kind of putting up under Ahref, like just your general links, the sort of glue bread and butter of the web. And these are great. Like, I'm a big fan, but they still leave something to be desired for me, which is that like there's sort of, web rings are great if you want to go into one little click, or stumblers are great, but like I'm kind of not looking for something totally random all the time, and I'm kind of like, I need not a huge buffet where I get overwhelmed. Okay, so the atmosphere is sort of, I feel like a great new space. Like it's sort of, to me, what I felt like the web was going to be, and we sort of got off track for a decade, and the silos sort of took over. And now we are wresting back the creative control over what we see on our screens through the atmosphere, right? The standard site project, the lexicon, is super exciting to me, right? I'm a big fan of long form. I want to see more long form. I want to read more long form. And I want to encourage more people to be doing long form. So to that end, you know, I think that a lot of times it can feel a little bit like shouting out into the void when you publish to the web, when you publish anywhere. And one of the things I think that we need to work on is helping people find community, whether that is you're a publisher who wants to interact with other people and have readers who share a common spirit, or you're a reader and you want to find things that you're interested in. So there are things that exist, and they fall sort of under those prior things. And I think that there are primitives out there that we can explore. So that is what my friend Chris and I are trying to do with the outer web. Okay, so what is the outer web? We're calling it a discovery layer. We're trying not to be so much a search engine, but a way to interact with the web, and now with atproto as well, where you can either submit your blog post or a blog post you like and get back similar content, right? And it's less about like typing in a search query and more about like, I am reading a thing I like right now and I would like to read more like this, or I am writing about a thing right now and I'm going to publish this and I would like to see if the other people are talking about something similar. It grew out of a post from my friend I work on this with. He blogged about it years ago, and I had actually at the time been reading about something called hierarchical neighborhood small world search. And I was like, I think that you can build this. And I sent him a link to that, and he hand-rolled it. There are a couple of services to it. There's that blog search where you can put in content and get back recommendations. Or there's this, we built this thing where you can like sort of just, if you're kind of, you don't have a specific thing, a specific post you want to look for, but there's some content. And so in this case, I just threw up this today where like, this is all of the packet leaflet posts and off print that we are indexing. Maybe you just want to sort of play around. And one of the fun things is that like you can sort of be on a post and go see what's similar to that and sort of explore the graph organically. Okay, so then what we'd like to see from the future. So I've got an XRPC endpoint and a half-assed sort of work in progress lexicon that I'm thinking of. And the idea here is that you give us a URI and we will go fetch that URI and read the text content and then give you back 3 recommendations. So this is the URI for your page parts post, Jared. And this will give you 3 outer web posts that we think are similar to that blog post. This sort of talk is sort of a request for comment. I could use help on the lexicon. Yeah, what's up? Let's see if I can summarize that. I don't know that I can. No, that's great. And you said a lot of stuff there that If I wasn't on stage and anxious about being on stage, I would have better processed it. So the idea being that, let me see if I get this right. Discoverability crisis, one facet of that is that we are in a consumption-based modal, and people are exhausted by this constant stream and overflowing of data flowing over you. And really, what we need to exercise our muscles of creation and output, and like, you know, you're taking in all this inspiration, all this all this feedback, whatever it is, and you're missing that other piece of the puzzle. Is that a little bit? Exactly, right? Yeah. So you could customize it, you can make it your own, you could take ownership over it, and you're not just like, I fit my, like, I'm a product for the advertisers and I fit my output here and it slots in and it looks like everybody else's. And yeah. So I totally agree with that. And I think that, thank you, that's a really great framing. One of the things that we are trying to do with the outer web is to encourage people to find their voice, go back to that blog that they haven't posted to in a year. And one of the ways that we hope that we could do that is by showing them, you know, you're not alone out there. There's a community that you can participate in. And if you were to take your value, your creativity, and put it out into the world, you will get back, like, you're not just out there by yourself, like looking for likes on some silo. Sure. Um, because that's like eating plastic. They're tired of that. They want something else. They want to take ownership. I have not thought of it. This is great. No, thank you. Let's talk more afterwards. I could really use the feedback. Yeah, shoot. Say again. Um, the normal way with term BM25, inverse frequency, semantic vectors. We've got some tiny little vectors. Yeah, so we're tags. We have some sort of like that is one signal into what we use, keywords, but like, and like we don't really have like we use like, you know, various like meta tags, and like if people are using those in their HTML, we do consume those as well. Those are a part of the weight. Yeah, again, like that's one of the things I'm excited about the atmosphere is that like web mentions and link backs and like there's this like primitives for that interaction. And to your idea or to your question about like or your point that you would like to have community and audience and that might inspire you, like that's what we're trying to help people find is like their audience and like there's I'm not saying that like search engines are bad or feeds are bad or stumblers are bad, but like this is I think a different facet to that. Yeah, sure. How does the digital online community organization and growth relate to in person? Yeah, I mean, like that's why I'm here today, right? Like, the last one of these was super inspiring, super exciting, and I am totally petrified to be up here, but I'm up here because I want to give back to the community and participate. Yeah, so I think thank you all for being here. Like, this is super exciting, and thank you for putting this on. Yeah. Thanks. Oh yeah. Sure. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I did. Just a couple more slides. Let me just zing through the meeting. Yeah. Okay. So UX ideas. Jared, I tried to sort of riff off of page parts, and I had an idea for, let's say you are a reader and you come to a leaflet or a packet or an off print, and there are various modals at the bottom, and then a new one could be maybe it's related things, and you could, as a reader or as a publisher, use your configuration primitive to decide what sources for recommendations I want for my long form standard site. Cosmic has more from, right, but this is internal, so like we could do also an external sort of more from, like not just within our blog or within our Cosmic blog, but like from other providers. And then maybe if you were, so this is you beat me to it, like I was like, oh, like what if I had in the UI for publishing some sort of modal where like I could add the providers for recommendations, and maybe I could go find them while I'm writing, click the button, shows me some things like, oh yeah, I'd like to link out to these. Yeah, and that's it. Thank you all for coming. I want to really quickly call out sideprojectsaturday.com. If you all are not doing anything Saturday mornings, it's a rad thing in downtown Brooklyn, not far from here. Justin organizes, Tom from Foultown hosts. Thank you both. It's a lot of fun. It's just some people hanging out in the morning and working quietly and then doing demos at 11:30, and it's inspiring and fun.